So apparently some Dragon Age, the Veilguard leaks came out today and basically, to the shock of no one, confirmed everything we think we already know about this game or has suspected. It's going to be a woke DEI mess and it's going to flop. We've already talked about how pre-orders for this game have been abysmal and that this game hasn't even launched yet. It's 2 weeks away and it's not even in the top 50 bestsellers on Steam at this point. I don't. This game's gonna flop so hard, and it's because they're more focused on woke ideologies, narratives, agendas instead of actually making a game people want to play. Grum's made this tweet that we're gonna talk about, dissect, and kind of read, give my thoughts about it. But it goes into detail about all the leaks, which come from a video that Jay Viper shared. And the video is going to be in the description down below, just to give you guys a little bit of a snippet from it. It's on a channel called Nuri, and the video is titled, I talked to a Dragon Age the Veilguard playtester, and he confirmed my worst fears. So basically all of our worst fears at this point. And again, like I said, it seems like every single video game studio is just infected with all this bullshit. We don't want to have some kind of lecture about who you're fucking in the bedroom on our video games, all right? Now, you can see at the disclaimer of this video, it says that John, who's not the real name of the playtester, is still under an NDA. So, again, take all this still with a grain of salt, though. It's all speculation. It's all rumor at this point. Take it all with a grain of salt, okay? Anytime that somebody says there's an insider or anything. But if we're led to believe that this stuff is true, this is very concerning. So, says, for his safety, he decided to keep the spoilers to a minimum. There's no way to verify the info he gave me is true until the game comes out. So this is all alleged information until the game's release. So that's the disclaimer. But if you want to go and take a look at this video, you can see.
And yeah, it's
it's basically an interview.
It's just disappointed.
Right?
Yeah, it is. I really.
If you want to go through, they're talking about all the leaks, everything. So very interesting video. But Grum's basically detailed it point by point in a fantastic way. But still, go check out the video, show some love, say But Eric sent you their way. It says, Dragon Age Veilguard leak. Worst fears confirmed, and it's much worse than we think. This is the end of BioWare. Nuri gets the scoop in her interview with a game tester who reveals all alleged rumors from testing in 2023 build highlights that the game is super woke. Well, we knew that. We saw the top surgery scar, so of course it's going to be super woke. It says pronouns in your face. Kunari Companion literally introduces themselves with immersion-breaking modern language. I identify myself as non-binary. So it's like these wokies, these political activists, forget that this game takes place in a fantasy realm setting. There's no such thing as a modern audience in a fantasy world. There's no such thing as non-binary or identifying yourself. It's absolutely immersion breaking. And these guys are so fucking nuts and unhinged that they have to feel represented in their video games. Why? You're either a retard or you're a narcissist or both if you feel like you have to have a representation of yourself and feel relatable to characters in a game or your movies or your TV shows or your cartoons. That's just my opinion, though. Now, going on, it says romances were and still may be gender locked. Unless you choose a pronoun other than he, him, you must be pansexual. Wow. Or you are restricted to 2 romance options, Navy and Harding. While other choices may romance anyone, this might have changed due to Baldur's Gate 3 success and influence. So it's going to force you to choose to be pansexual in order to have more than, a handful of romance options. Again, it's this whole weird craze of being pansexual and fucking everything and stuff. Don't get me wrong, sex is great, but again, it's pushing agendas here. Now it says Solas is sidelined hard, made into a minor character with little importance or development until suddenly important at end of game, and that ending is baffling and not in a good way, but no spoilers revealed. So they didn't reveal spoilers about this, but especially with a main character like this, for them to be sidelined, that's not going to go over with the community. It says the story is disappointment after disappointment, and I'm tending to believe that because it seems like anybody in Hollywood or entertainment, whether it's video games, movies, whatever, it seems like they forgot how to write. It seems like they forgot how to write nowadays. Now, continuing on, says facial animation is Andromeda all over again and plastic, which I assume is a lot of my face is tired quality. So everybody's going to have resting bitch face, right? Inquisitor and Inquisition is corrupt and may not be of any help, even if you didn't disband it. Choices don't matter. It's Mass Effect 3 again. It's like this day and age with games and AAA games and third-party games. They just keep fumbling the bag. It seems like they try to do all these innovations and all these advancements to be diverse and shit, and then they forget how to actually have decent gameplay mechanics and decent writing and decent stories and decent characters. Going on, it says, Rook has been sidelined. Backstory wasted. Just a guy in a bar. Very much diminished. Tester feedback ignored. Boss said it's very good feedback, but I can't send it to them. It's very good, but basically you can't talk about how the woke stuff is making the game worse. It's not something you could talk about even if it's ruining the game. So, tester feedback, the development studio are ignoring tester feedback. And if you're telling them, hey, the wokeness in this game is ruining it, they're ignoring you. Literally, they don't care. It has to be forced in there, allegedly, to this whole leak right here. Continuing on, it says, Grey Warden Darvin, a newcomer who never finished his training, gets to influence and make important decisions for the Grey Wardens solely because he's a POC. Gets to decide everything. So basically, the Yusuke treatment with this individual. And again, it's a DEI checkbox. That's all it really is. Continuing on, it says, the segmented gameplay in the Fade is a boring walking simulator with just some fetch quests. Completely wasted opportunity. Other major characters like Varric turned into mere advisors and pushed to the back of the story. It's so far removed from Origins that it's crazy that it's in the same universe. This is the end of BioWare, the interview concludes. Final nail in the coffin of a once great studio and franchise. And they say check out the link below. So, again, not surprising considering all the stuff and the red flags that we've seen leading up to this game's launch. It's sad to see how studios like BioWare have come. You know what I mean? Like how far they've come from being once great. It's almost like the people that used to work there are no longer there. They're replaced by a whole bunch of progressive wokies that are living off of their hard work from years and years and years, and they're taking these franchises and bastardizing them and not knowing exactly what to do. You know, you're literally walking into a fandom and a fan base with not just Dragon Age, but like Star Wars, Marvel, you name it. You're walking into an established fandom and you're trying to change the source material for a modern audience that does not show up. It does not exist. All right? This modern audience fails to support anything. Look at Concord. Look at Dustborn. Look at fucking Star Wars Outlaws. All these fucking wokies are just whack. They do not give a shit about making an entertaining game. They want some kind of platform to where they could get their political ideologies out and force everybody to accepting it, like top surgery scars and shit. It's nutto. It's literally nutto. So, of course, you can see in the replies, people are just eating it. Ian Miles Chong says, I completely expected that. And Grum says, I used to think the strength of the brand would carry them, but not after this. If this is true, they're toast. And yeah, again, strength of the brand, I guess that's what they were hoping they would live off of. I guess that's hoping what they would survive off of is the strength of the brand. But you're just taking all these people's hard work that came from behind you and fucking ruining it. That's essentially what it is. Continuing on, it says, there's no way BioWare can come back from this. Any company that gets taken over by the activist Rainbow Mafia doesn't survive. And that's absolutely on the fucking money. And you can see there was this thing going on, and I wanted to talk about this, but Scott Harding in the game has a Madam's apple. A Madam's apple. Look at that. What the fuck is this shit? A Madam's fucking apple on a fucking character. Forget the fucking woke chin now, right? We got Madam's apples going on, and they, you know, it's like, what the fuck, indeed. like, what are they doing with gaming these days? Honestly, I wanted to touch into that. You can see average BioWare employee. I always wanted to cut my titties off in game. At this point, I don't even care if these AAA companies keep making woke trash. They could go broke, and I will give my money to AA developers that deserve it by making good games good and giving the finger to DEI. You can see people were just saying, hey, fuck this. And again, they try to label it as us being the vocal minority. No, we're the majority. And you're right on the money when you say that the casual common gamer doesn't care about this stuff. That's why all this woke stuff fails, because they don't care to play bullshit like this. So Dragon Age, the Veilguard, is looking like a red flag more and more every day. You hate to see it, but at the same time, you can't look away at that fucking train wreck. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Subscribe if you're brand new. We're on the road to 93,000 subscribers. I'd love for you guys to join the 8-Beat Nation. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.